Hello and welcome to Daily News Simplified, an answer to what, why and how of newspaper reading. Today we will discuss the articles displayed on the screen from the Delhi edition of the Hindu newspaper dated 24th February 2019. Now, as you all would be knowing, the Hindu has discontinued the section 2 of the Hindu newspaper which it used to publish on the Sundays. So due to this, there will be a change in the DNS videos from today. And from today onwards, there will be only one DNS video for the Sundays. And now let us start our discussion for today's newspaper. Now this article on page number 1 is related to the Dongaria Kondh tribes of Niyamgiri Hills. And these Dongaria Kondh tribes of the Niyamgiri Hills are facing eviction due to a recent Supreme Court order. And this Supreme Court order was related to the implementation of Forest Rights Act 2006. So this will form a part of the General Studies paper 2. And you would know that in the DNS of 11th February 2019, we have discussed the Forest Rights Acts and the PESA Act in detail. And in the previous year, in the year 2011, there was a question in the mains examination in the General Studies paper 1, which read that what are the two major legal initiatives by the state since independence against discrimination against the scheduled tribes? And you would know that the two major legal initiatives were the Forest Rights Act and the PESA Act. So you should go through this video to understand both these acts in detail. However, in this article, we will try to understand what does the recent Supreme Court order say. Secondly, we will also try to learn about the Dongaria Kondh tribes and some facts which are important for us from preliminary examination point of view. And finally, we will look at the mining issue in the Niyamgiri Hills which brought the Dongaria Kondh in limelight. So first, let us learn about the recent Supreme Court's judgment which is related to the implementation of Forest Rights Act. And in this order, the Supreme Court has ordered the eviction of lakhs of people whose claims have been rejected under the Forest Rights Act 2006. So all those tribal communities or the other forest dweller communities whose claims have been rejected under the Forest Rights Act 2006 will be evicted due to this recent Supreme Court's judgment. Now this Supreme Court judgment is likely to impact adversely the scheduled tribes and all those vulnerable communities whose claims have been rejected under the Forest Rights Act 2006. And all these scheduled tribes and vulnerable communities will now be evicted or removed from the forest areas. And this will impact adversely their livelihood capabilities. So it is in this background, the Odisha's Dongaria Kondh have come to the limelight. And these Dongaria Kondh tribes have resolved that they will resist this Supreme Court order. Now previously you should note that these Dongaria Kondh tribes had successfully resisted the Vedanta group's plan to mine bauxite in the ecologically and mineral-rich Niyamgiri Hill range. So in a similar manner, the Dongaria Kondh tribes are trying to resist this Supreme Court judgment. So here you should note some key facts related to this Dongaria Kondh tribe. So first important information is that they live in the Niyamgiri Hill range in Odisha. Secondly, they have been categorized as particularly vulnerable tribal group. And in Odisha, they are mainly found in Niyamgiri Hills, in the Kalahandi and the Raigad districts. And other than Odisha, they are found in parts of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana also. Now the name of important festival which is celebrated by these Dongaria Kondh tribes is the Niyam Raja festival. And this tribe believes that they have a right to cultivate the slopes of Niyamgiri Hills, and this right has been conferred on them by the mountain god Niyam Raja. And also they believe that they are the royal descendants of the Niyam Raja. So now all these points can be important for us from preliminary examination point of view. For example, there can be a question which asks about the location of Niyamgiri Hill. Now after this, let us learn about the bauxite mining issue which is closely related to the Dongaria Kondh tribes. Now the Dongaria Kondh tribes came into limelight because of this Vedanta mining issue in the Niyamgiri. And under this issue, the Vedanta Aluminium Limited approached the Supreme Court for bauxite mining rights in the Niyamgiri Hills. However, this move of Vedanta was opposed by the Dongaria Kondh tribe. So in this case, the Supreme Court had directed that the Gram Sabha should consider the mining activities which would affect the rights of tribals. And in this, the Gram Sabha had rejected the proposal of extraction of bauxite from the region of Niyamgiri Hills. And they rejected this on the basis of the Article 25 of the Indian Constitution. So in this, the Gram Sabha asserted that the mining in this region threatens the religious and traditional rights of the tribals which are protected under the Article 25 of the Indian Constitution. Now as we know that under the Article 25 and 26 of the Indian Constitution, every religious community has the right to practice and propagate not only matters of faith and belief but also of rituals and observations. So it is under this article the Supreme Court asserted that the Dongaria Kondh tribes can protect their right to worship the deity Niyam Raja, and therefore the Niyamgiri hills should be protected and preserved. So it is in this background that the Dongaria Kondh tribe is resisting the Supreme Court order which states that all those scheduled tribes and other forest dwelling communities should be evicted whose rights under the Forest Rights Act 2006 have been rejected. Now at the end of today's discussion, you will find a practice question on this issue. And with this, let us move on to the next article. This article on page number 8 talks about a government's decision to allow removal of mineral-rich sand from Thothapally estuary in Kerala. And this step is likely to adversely impact the ecology of this region. And this will have a negative impact for the nesting site of olive ridley turtles. So this falls under the preliminary examination syllabus under the topic biodiversity. Now here you should note that the Kerala government has ordered the extraction of sand from the Thothapally estuary. And this step of Kerala government is being opposed by the locals because it is being seen as adversely impacting the local ecology. Now what is important for us from preliminary examination point of view is that the Thothapally coast is an important nesting site for the olive ridley turtles. And this Thothapally coast is located in the Alpuza district of Kerala. So here you should note that the other nesting sites of the olive ridley turtles also become important for us from preliminary examination point of view. So now let us look at some of these facts which are related to olive ridley turtles which are important for us from the preliminary examination point of view. Now regarding the olive ridley turtle, you should note that these are migratory turtle species and they come to India for nesting during the winter season. Now they are famous for their synchronized nesting in mass numbers, and this type of nesting is known as Aribadas. Further, the habitat of these olive ridley turtles become important for us from the preliminary examination point of view. So these olive ridley turtles are primarily found in the warm and tropical waters of all the important oceans, that is the Pacific Ocean, Indian Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean. Further, the nesting sites of olive ridley turtle that are found in India are important for us from the preliminary examination point of view. So here you should note that the Hope Island of Kuringa Wildlife Sanctuary, which is located in the Andhra Pradesh, is one of the important sites for nesting of olive ridley turtles. And also, as we have seen in this article, the Thothapally estuary in Kerala is also another important site for the nesting of olive ridley turtle. They are also found in Gahirmatha beach in the Odisha, Astaranga coast in Odisha, beach of Rushikulya river which is also in Odisha, and in the Devi river mouth in Odisha. So primarily they are found in 3 states, that is Andhra Pradesh, Odisha and Kerala. Further, the protection status of this animal becomes important for us from the preliminary examination point of view. So under the IUCN's red list, it is listed as a vulnerable species. In India's Wildlife Protection Act 1972, they are listed in the Schedule 1. And which means that it has the highest protection and highest penalties are awarded for the killing of this olive ridley turtle. Further, in the sites, they are listed in the Appendix 1, and you should note that those species which are listed in Appendix 1 are the most endangered among the sites listed animals. Now all these facts that we have discussed are important for us from the preliminary examination point of view and can be asked in the exam. And at the end of today's discussion, you will find a practice question related to the olive ridley turtle. And with this, let us move on to the next article. This article on page number 1 is related to the Indian Foreign Minister's participation in the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. So this will form a part of the global groupings which involve India and affect India's interest. So in this article, we will try to learn about the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, and also we will try to learn about India and the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. So here you should note that the Indian Foreign Minister is going to address the 46th session of the Council of Foreign Ministers of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. And in this session of the OIC, the Foreign Minister has been invited for this session. Now this invitation to Indian Foreign Minister is based on the recognition of presence of 185 million Muslims in India and their contribution to its pluralistic ethos. And also it is related to India's contribution to the Islamic world. Further, this meeting will be held in Abu Dhabi and India has been invited by the UAE as the guest of honor. Now it is reflected in India's strong relationship with UAE, and also the recent visit of Mohammed bin Salman of Saudi Arabia has led to this invitation to Indian Foreign Minister in the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. So now this Organization of Islamic countries become important for us from the preliminary examination point of view. So let us learn some key facts related to this Organization of Islamic Countries. So this Organization of Islamic Cooperation was established in 1969 at Morocco. Now regarding the members of Organization of Islamic Cooperation, you should note that it is the second largest intergovernmental organization after the United Nations. And it has membership of around 57 countries which are spread over 4 continents. Now regarding its membership, you should note that it has reserved its membership for only Muslim majority countries. And other countries with significant Muslim population are given observer status such as Russia. Further, regarding its purpose, you should note that it endeavors to safeguard and protect the interest of Muslim world. So the facts which are important for us from the preliminary examination point of view are that it was established in 1969 in Morocco. And secondly, you should note that it has 57 member countries, which makes it the second largest intergovernmental organization after the United Nations. And its membership is reserved for Muslim majority countries, and other countries which have significant Muslim population are granted the observer status. And simply the purpose is that it endeavors to safeguard and protect the interests of Muslim world. Now regarding India's membership of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, Bangladesh had supported India's status as an observer country. This is because India has around 10% of the world's Muslim population. However, this move was opposed by Pakistan. And in this regard, the Pakistan had threatened to leave the Organization of Islamic Cooperation if India was given a membership. Further, the stand of Organization of Islamic Cooperation regarding Kashmir and various other issues has been controversial. In this regard, you should note that the OIC has supported Pakistan's stand on Kashmir and has also issued several statements in the past criticizing India's role in Jammu and Kashmir. Further, this OIC also has a special designated Kashmir Contact Group which is led by Pakistan. And this group coordinates the OIC's position on Kashmir in the UN forum. Further, in December 2018, OIC had condemned the killing of terrorists in the Pulwama region by the Indian forces. And they had described this incident as direct shooting at the demonstrator by Indian forces as a terrorist act. And due to the tilt of Organization of Islamic Cooperation towards Pakistan and its interference in India's internal affairs, and also its stand and point of view towards the Kashmir issue, under the Vajpayee government, India had unofficially dropped the plans to become a member of the OIC. So here we have discussed various issues between India and the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. Now this visit of India's foreign minister will be held in March in 2019. And therefore this news is in transition, and let us wait for this story to unfold further. With this, let us move on to the next article. Now the Sunday magazine talks about a very important strategic location which is known as the Limi Valley. And this Limi Valley is very important for us from the preliminary examination point of view under the topic Indian geography and the world geography. So in this article, let us try to understand some important facts about the Limi Valley and also the strategic importance of this Limi Valley for India. Now this Limi Valley is very important for us from the preliminary examination point of view. This is because it is located at a strategic point, and it is located in the northwestern part of Nepal, as can be seen in the map here. Further, it consists of 3 villages which are located along the Karnali river, and it is situated very close to the tri-junction of India, Nepal and China. So here you can see that this valley shares its border with India and China and is located in the Nepal. And due to its geostrategic location, this valley was a center of thriving trade between India and Tibet in the past. So here you should note that it is located along the Karnali river and in the northwestern part of Nepal. Further, it is located at the tri-junction of India, Nepal and China. So about the Limi Valley, you should note that it is located in the northwestern part of Nepal and it is situated along the Karnali river. Further, it is situated close to the tri-junction of India, Nepal and China. And this piece of information is important for us from the preliminary examination point of view. Further, you should note that it is located in Nepal and its cultural traditions are similar to those of Tibetan communities. So this is a unique thing about the people who are living in the Limi Valley. Further, you should note that the people who live in this valley follow the Tibetan Buddhism, and an important monastery is located here. The name of this monastery is Halji Rincheling Monastery. So the name of this monastery is also important for us from the preliminary examination point of view. Now here you should note the unique aspect of this Limi Valley. So here you should note that although it is a part of Nepal, it is not very well connected with the Nepal, and it is well connected by road with China. And due to this connection of Limi Valley with China, its entire economy is dependent on the China. However, despite its connection with China and its location in Nepal, it has a connection with India. This is because a large number of youths from this valley are educated in free Tibetan schools in India. And also, Hindi is one of the commonly spoken language in this region. Now, as the people living in Limi Valley are dependent upon all the three countries, it becomes strategically very important for India. So, all the information that is related to Limi Valley is important for us from the preliminary examination point of view. And with this, let us move on to the next article. Now, in today's newspaper, two news articles have been repeated. For example, this news article on page number 8 is related to the Rythu Bandhu scheme, and it has already been discussed in the Daily News Simplified of 28th January 2019. So in today's description, a link will be provided to this previous video so that you can revise this scheme in detail. And we all know that the Rythu Bandhu scheme of Telangana and the Kalia scheme of Odisha have come into light in the background of the PM Kisan Yojana, which has been launched in the recent budget. And all these three have been covered in the DNS of the past days. So you should go through this video to understand the Kalia scheme and the Rythu Bandhu scheme. And also, previously there has been a video on the PM Kisan Yojana. So you should revise all the three from the previous videos. Further, the news article on page number 13 is related to the Pulwama attack and the Indus Water Treaty. And you should note that this was covered in yesterday's DNS, that is 23rd February 2019. So you should go through this video to understand the Indus Water Treaty and the geographical location of important projects that are being carried on to stop the flow of water to Pakistan post the Pulwama attacks. Further, there is a news article on page number 8 which is related to a forest fire in the Bandipur and Wayanad. Now, forest fires are a recurring phenomenon in India, and combating forest fires has been covered in the Daily News Simplified of 26th March 2018. So in the description of today's video, you will be provided with the link of all these three videos. So you should go through these videos and understand about these topics. And now let us take up some practice questions based on the articles that we have discussed today. Now, after going through today's discussion, you should try and answer these two questions from your preliminary examination point of view. And we will discuss their answers after 5 seconds. Now, the first question reads that, with reference to Niyamgiri Hill, consider the following statements. Now, this is related to the Dongaria Kondh tribes that we have discussed in today's discussion. The first statement reads that it is located in Jharkhand. Now, this statement is incorrect because it is located in the state of Odisha. Second statement reads, deposits of bauxite are found here. Now, this statement is correct as we know that there was an issue of mining in the Niyamgiri Hills, which was opposed by the Dongaria Kondh tribes. And thirdly, it is an important religious place for the Dongaria Kondh tribes. Now, this statement is also correct. Hence, the correct answer is C, that is 2 and 3 statements are correct. The second question reads that which of the following are nesting sites of the olive Ridley turtle? So now, as we have studied in today's discussion, the Astaranga coast, the Thothapally in Kerala, Rushikulya and Devi river, these three are in Odisha. And these are popular sites of nesting of olive Ridley turtle. Also, as we have learned in today's article, Thothapally in Kerala is also a nesting site of olive Ridley turtle. However, you should note that Gulf of Mannar is also a nesting site of olive Ridley turtle. And here you should note that this nesting site of olive Ridley turtle was impacted badly during the cyclones Gaja and Okchi in Tamil Nadu. So you should keep in mind that Gulf of Mannar is also a nesting site for the olive Ridley turtles. Hence the correct answer is D, that is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. All are correct. Further, you should try and answer these two practice questions also. And the answer for these questions will also be provided after 5 seconds. So if you go through this question, it reads that, with reference to the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, consider the following statements. The first statement reads, any country with a considerable Muslim population can become its member. Now this statement is incorrect because only those countries which have a Muslim majority can become its member. And those countries with a considerable Muslim population can have an observer status in this organization. The second statement reads that India has an observer status in this organization. Now this statement is also correct because the India's status as an observer member was opposed by Pakistan. And that is why India could not become an observer status country in the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. So the correct answer here is neither 1 nor the statement 2 is correct. The next question reads that with reference to the Limi Valley, consider the following statements. The first statement reads that it is located close to the tri-junction of India, Nepal and China in India. Now this statement is incorrect. Now although it is located close to the tri-junction of India, Nepal and China, here you should note that it is not located in India and is located in the northwestern part of Nepal. So this statement becomes incorrect. So you should always read the full statement before answering any preliminary examination question. The second statement reads that people of this valley practice Tibetan Buddhism and the Tabo monastery is located here. Now the first part of this statement is correct, that people of this valley practice Tibetan Buddhism. However, the second part is incorrect because Tabo monastery is not located in the Limi Valley but is located in the Spiti Valley in Himachal Pradesh. And we all know that in the Limi Valley, the famous Halji Rinchaling monastery is located. So this statement also becomes incorrect. So the correct answer is D, neither 1 nor 2. So here you should learn that while answering any question in the preliminary examination, you should read the statements very carefully. And with this, we have come to the end of today's discussion. Now let us move on to the question for the day.